Are you naturally more agreeable? Welcome to Change the Conversation with the Hopefulist. My name is Wendy McClure, and it's time we had a conversation about living in a patriarchy and how that affects our lives. Together, we can make a difference and change the conversation. Welcome back to Change the Conversation with the Hopefulist. I am Wendy McClure, and I appreciate you being here each and every day. We are doing work here. We are deconstructing patriarchy, and what that does is that helps every generation of women that comes after us. So the more work we do on this, the better life will be for our daughters and our granddaughters and our great-granddaughters, because somebody has to be the one to step up to the plate and get this ball rolling. And that is us, ladies. That is what we're here for. So if you recall from last week, I was talking about the unfair advantage that men get in the workforce. And I had shared a clip of that on my Instagram page. And a lot of times, I'll get a lot of comments from men all up in their feelings, telling me all kinds of things and how I'm wrong. So the one clip I was talking about how women are not expected to counteroffer when they are initially given a salary, that men are expected to counteroffer. Therefore, they always offer them something lower than they intend to pay, knowing that a man will come back and counteroffer. Women who counteroffer are often seen as selfish, and they sometimes don't even want to continue with that woman because they think that women should just be grateful for being offered the job in the first place, that it could have gone to a man, and if they were going to offer more money, they would have offered it to a man. So, how dare women have the audacity to ask for more money than they're being offered? Like I said, I really do believe it's just this theory that women, we should be grateful just for being offered the job. So that's what I was discussing in this clip when I was told that I'm just making up nonsense now, that women are not oppressed in any way, shape, or form. And what he said was, and this is what really stuck out to me, that women are just naturally more agreeable. That's why more men counteroffer than women. Naturally agreeable. Naturally agreeable. Let's see. I don't think I've been naturally agreeable one day in my life. Have I been conditioned to be agreeable? Yes. Unfortunately for most, that is not really stuck. I am just not going to agree with you because I'm a woman. Most women are not naturally agreeable. They are conditioned to be agreeable. They are trained to be agreeable. And this starts as children. Girls are sugar and spice and everything nice. That's right. You know what's not sugar and spice and everything nice? Being disagreeable. Do you know what we are taught and pounded into our heads? To be small, to be in the background, to let others take the center stage. We are not naturally more agreeable. We are taught to be more agreeable. And that is exactly why I do this podcast, because patriarchy is veiled as the way things are, the status quo. This is just the way that it is. Well, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. We can stop telling our daughters that they need to be agreeable. It's imperative. It's essential that we start making sure that women, that girls are not getting this message. Because it goes back to that old saying, just keep the peace. Can you just let it go? Let's just keep the peace. Well, whose peace is that keeping? It's not keeping the peace of the person who was wronged, of the person who was disrespected, of the person that was treated badly. It's not keeping their peace. to be told to squelch down inappropriate, bad behavior. And we've fallen for this for decades and decades. Just keep the peace. Can't you just let it go? Can't you just let it go? We are always the ones that have to let it go. Always. Because that's what we've been conditioned to do. And that's what this podcast is all about. Breaking out of that conditioning of centering men in every decision that we make. Pointing out how things are biased against us, even if it doesn't show up in pay or if it doesn't show up in the way that you get treated at work every day. These are all insidious. They are hidden. The fact that most studies say that women are not expected to counteroffer, and when they do, they are considered selfish. The fact that I talked about last week, in a lot of reviews, employee reviews, women are often told that they are too bossy, assertive, aggressive, and men never had any of those words used against them. There were 2 men that had the word used in their review, but it was to tell them to be more aggressive. So we're telling the women to be less aggressive and men to be more aggressive. These are not things that show up in a paycheck or you can put up on a board when it comes to sales numbers and all that stuff. But these are things that count against women each and every day. Now, I've been trained to keep my mouth shut. That's what I discussed last week, is when I didn't keep my mouth shut, when I counter-offered a job that I was being offered, I was punished for that counteroffer. And why do I say I was punished? I was punished because I didn't even get a response back. Now, we were doing the negotiating between a mutual party, so I wasn't talking to them directly, but when he came to me and told me what the salary was, I said, I was really hoping to get this much money. And then when he came back after I had said that, he said, yeah, they're just going to go with someone else. So I wasn't even given the opportunity to change my mind. They never even gave me a chance by saying, this is the salary. If you don't like it, don't take the job, but this is what we're paying. They didn't even do me the honor of that. I was just dismissed. Now, why would that be? Why would they just dismiss me, not give me a chance to say to me, this is the salary, take it or leave it? I would think that would be a very natural next step. But no, they didn't even want to discuss me any further. I was out. I was just out. Why? Well, it has to be because they thought something about me because I had the nerve to ask for more money. That gave them some kind of idea in their head about who I was, whether it be selfish, not a team player, thinking that I was deserving of more money. Whatever the reason would be, there was a reason that they didn't even give me the courtesy to come back and say, listen, this is what we're paying. So we wanted you. We offered it to you first. Do you want the job at this amount of money? They didn't even do that. And as I mentioned last week, that taught me a lesson for the next time I was in a position to negotiate my salary. I didn't even try because I learned my lesson that I should just be grateful for the job offer. And that's what I did the next time. And I didn't make great money. Could I have made more money? I'm pretty sure I could have. But again, I was too afraid to lose the opportunity by asking for more money. That is what happens when you have the nerve to do something that women are not known to do or not expected to do. So, like I mentioned, patriarchy is a conditioning disguised as the status quo. It's meant to seem natural. And that's what that guy, women are naturally more agreeable. No, we are not naturally more agreeable. It's been pounded in our heads to be agreeable. Pounded over and over and over again in our heads. It's not natural. And if we do step out of line, like I did, you can lose out on an opportunity. We're berated, we're belittled, we're even betrayed by others. And what I mean by being betrayed by others is when I step out and I say things that people don't want to hear, they shun me. They shun me because I'm speaking out against a patriarchal system that is oppressing women every single day in this country. And I get shunned. That is a betrayal. I'm not speaking for just me. I'm speaking for all women. And it is laughable to me, the amount of women who have shunned me since I started talking about this. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to be seen with someone who rocks the boat because women have a place in this country. And it is not being loud. It is not stepping up to the plate and saying things as they are. And if you don't follow those rules, you may be shunned by others. I don't particularly care that I've been shunned. All it has done for me is make me realize that I had some pretty weak people in my life. If you can't stand up and have a conversation with somebody about something that you even disagree with, if you can't discuss it and respect somebody for doing something about something that they believe in, then you're pretty weak in my eyes. It's just a very weak move. So how do we change the conversation around this? Well, we have to be the ones. We have to point it out. When you hear someone say women are naturally more agreeable, you have to go, oh, no, they aren't. No, women were conditioned to be more agreeable. And they may be like, oh, really? How is that? Well, because of, we were told since we were little girls that we're sugar and spice and everything nice. So if we're not that, then we're not good little girls. So that's the beginning of it. And it's constant. Over and over, it is reinforced to us in books, in TV shows, in magazines, you name it. That is something that is conditioning us, that is putting us in the box that society wants us to be in. I have a woman who says that she listens to the podcast, but she disagrees with me completely. She doesn't think that she is part of a patriarchal system. She doesn't believe in the patriarchal system. She does not understand where I felt this pressure as I was growing up to be married and to have children, or I had no worth. And I applaud her for feeling that she didn't have that in her life. But she often would say to me, I don't know where you got these ideas. Well, I got these ideas from everywhere, from all of the movies where the men, their title character would do something great and, save the world, where the women characters just found a man at the end of the movie. They weren't doing great things to save the world. They were just matching up with a man, and that was their happy ending. The same thing in books, that this idea that women are less than if they aren't paired up with a man. The way that women are belittled by only talking about their connection to a man. And I'm referring to that kicker from the Chiefs doing that commencement speech when he referred to his teammate's girlfriend. That teammate's girlfriend is Taylor Swift. She is much, much more than Travis Kelce's girlfriend. But that's what he reduced her to, because that's what we're taught is worthy. He wanted to strip away all of the amazing accomplishments that she made on her own as a single woman, being one of the richest women in the music industry, having the most fans, having the most power. And he's trying to reduce her to where he believes her place should be as someone's girlfriend. Another thing that was very prominent when I was growing up, magazines. We had magazines everywhere. I can't tell you the amount of money I spent on magazines. I know that they're not really a thing anymore. You might see them at the grocery checkout. There's a couple, but there used to be. And if you go into a bookstore, if you can still find a bookstore, they have a section that is just all magazines. There's like a ton of them. But they're not as available now, because people really stopped reading them once the internet came out, and, everybody just reads everything on their phone or their tablet or their computer or what have you. But they were everywhere when I was growing up. And the most famous magazine was Cosmopolitan magazine. And on the front cover of Cosmo every single month would be at least 3 articles. How to snag that man, how to keep that man, ways that your man will never stray, how you can get your man to be begging at your feet. It was all about men. It wasn't about women. It was never about women and empowering themselves. It was always about how to get that man, how to keep that man, how to get that man back if he left. Those were the main topics. And so, we were given this idea that we were worthless unless we were tied to a man. That's just the way that it was. So we need to be the ones to change the conversation. We need to tell others when they make comments like women are just naturally more agreeable. And I'm not saying that you need to lash out at these people or start an argument and just be like, oh, no, that's not really true. That's just how we were conditioned as we grew up. We weren't really just agreeable. That was pounded into our head, and very purposely as well. And people may not like that you do that, but this is what we need to do to make lives easier for our daughters, for our granddaughters, for our great-granddaughters. This is never going to get better until someone starts. And I'm willing to be that person. I think you're willing to be that person too, if you're listening to this right now, because I know that women and their rights are important to you. So we need to be the ones to spread the word, to correct the misinformation that has been going around for decades and centuries. And moving forward, I want you to be proactive in making these connections and these corrections for people. I want you to connect the dots for them. If you hear somebody say that and they seem open to listening to more, and most of the time they won't be, because people initially will just push off something that's foreign to them, something that they don't understand. But make the connections to people. And one of the easiest ones is something I've said several times already. Girls are sugar and spice and everything nice. What is that teaching you? That you need to be nice all the time. Nobody is teaching boys they have to be nice. It'd be nice if we could just teach boys to be respectful, but that is a challenge as well. Again, I'm not blaming any particular parents. I am blaming society and the system that we have all been forced to live under for our entire lives. There are issues when it comes to boys as well. There are ways that boys are being oppressed to be a certain type of boy/man, but I don't talk about that. I focus on women. So that's what I discuss from the women's point of view, what we need to do to help women. So I don't want to hear about how men this and men that. This is not about men. This is about women. So explain the conditioning. Connect it to the childhood, the way that we're raised and how it's just kind of embedded into us over and over and over. And we need to do this for the future women of this country. I want you to stand your ground. Don't let people pressure you to just leave it alone. Ugh, why you got to start with all that stuff? Come on, we're having a good time here. Don't do that. Be like, I'm not trying to ruin anyone's good time. I'm just correcting something that really is a misinformation to me. So that's fine. Go ahead. Keep doing what you're doing. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that was not an accurate statement. Don't let people do that to you. This is our fight. It is for the future of all females. You know, our mothers and grandmothers fought very, very hard to get us Roe v. Wade. And we let it slip by. We let it go. We let it just be taken from us. And by the way, today, as of this recording, it is the second anniversary of the Dobbs decision, which is the one that overturned Roe v. Wade and took away our right to be able to control our body and our lives. So we're also in the midst of a women's strike today. The National Women's Strike is taking place today. I don't have a lot of hope that it's going to turn out the way we want it to. I hope I'm wrong. We need to be Iceland, and we need to actually walk out of the house and not do a damn thing for a day. We can't get enough women on board to do that here for some reason. I'm not sure why, but that's another topic for another day. So we have to be the ones to do this. We dropped the ball. We're the ones who didn't pay enough attention when it came to voting people in, to being more discerning with what the characteristics were of the people that we were allowing into office and then remaining there for, decades at a time. So this is on our watch. Like it or not, we have to fix this. It's up to us. I want you to be a woman warrior. And again, I know you are already, or else you wouldn't be here. I want you to fight for women. Do what you know is right for the women in your life. Think of the women that you know, especially the young women. How do you want their life to go? Do you want them to be able to have the choices to do what they want in life? Or do you want them to be controlled by a government that wants to control women to have baby after baby after baby? I mean, it's really just that simple. There is one party that wants freedom for women. There is one party that is trying to control women, down to the fact that they will not guarantee birth control. This is a vote that took place last week. There was an opportunity to guarantee the right to get birth control, and the other side said, well, that's already protected in the Constitution. Just like Roe v. Wade was, just like abortion was protected in the Constitution. How did that work out? And the other, rebuttal I heard was, we're not going after birth control, so there's no need for this measure. Okay, fine. If you're not going after birth control, just sign the measure. What's the big deal? If you have no intention of going after birth control, just sign it. Nope, they didn't do that. And you know what that means? That means they're coming after birth control. So we have to be the ones to fight back, to fix this, and to continue to make it better for the women who come after us. I am up for the challenge. I know that you're up for the challenge too. And I thank you and am grateful that you are here today. And I hope that you come back and that you tell a friend about this podcast and you share it with them and that they share it with somebody. If you're not signed up for my free email newsletter yet, please sign up. It's you can go to my website, hopefulist.com, and there is a subscribe button that you can just click on and put your email in and your name. That's it. I'm not going to spam you. I promise. And I wanted to mention that I have a 30-day challenge coming up. I'm just going to give you a little teaser here. It's going to be a 30-day challenge, and we are going to empower the women of this world. That's right. We're going to make every woman know that she has the ability to live life on her terms without restraint, without expectation, and without judgment. That is the whole goal. And I will be sure to give you more details as the time gets closer. So meanwhile, thank you so much for joining me today. I want you to go be badass. You know that I am always cheering for you. And remember that we women are stronger together. Thank you for joining me in this conversation. Together, we are better. Please visit my website at hopefulist.com and remember to hit that subscribe or follow button.